Happy Monday, and thank you so much for making time for This Is the Day. My name is Sarah Otieno.
And I'm Frederick Njiri.
Well, we're live on Family TV, also live on Family Radio, where the music does the talking. What are we starting with today, Fred?
Now, there's something we started off last week, and I think it's now gathering momentum. The Christians, evangelicals, basically Christians, are telling that Senator Kihika not on their watch in as far as the reproductive bill is concerned. And we'll be looking at some of the things that they're saying and how this is going to play out. And then there's drama in Kitui. I mean, only hardly a couple of days after Governor Waiguru was cleared by the Senate, the MCS in Kitui are now going for Ngilu's neck. And then I will take you to my useless stories. And today, trust you me, this has got to be the most useless story you've ever had. And it's got to do with a church that operates on different spirits. You stick around.
All right, you heard him. We better stick around. The WhatsApp number to use and join the discussion today is 0786 316 316. SMS line 20316 on Facebook and Twitter at Family Radio 316.
And we kick it off in issues that affect the general society and the churches as a whole, because the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya is now opposing the Reproductive Healthcare Bill 2019, currently before the Senate, with claims that it advocates for underage sex and same-sex marriage as part of its agenda.
Goes further to open the door for children between the ages of 10 to 17, that they should receive contraceptives, safe abortion, and comprehensive sexuality education, which teaches that sex is for pleasure and that sexual pleasure is a right.
The kinds of numbers that we are being given, you would be seeing pregnant girls all over the streets.
They will engage in masturbation, same-sex relationships, rape, bestiality, incest, teenage sex.
The motion, Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika, however, denies the claim, saying the bill does not in any way support anything outside the Constitution.
That is and that is just intended to whip the emotions of the public, because there is not such a thing in the bill. It is a reproductive healthcare bill, not an abortion bill, not encouraging rape, not encouraging underage sex, and definitely not encouraging same-sex marriage. So what the bill seeks to address is have in a school setting, in age-appropriate adolescent healthcare services, where there's like counseling on abstinence, like we are talking about. If it's not on abstinence and they are already engaging, then they are also cancelled on the effects of, say, abortion. And I know there was a big issue on consequences of unsafe abortion. That was one part of the bill, on the bill.
You know, Senator Kihika actually asked the evangelicals or the ministers to come up with, portions of that bill that propagate what they claim that it propagates. Yeah. And later on in the show, we'll have a doctor, a gentleman called Dr. Wahome Ngari from the Kenya Christian Professional Forums, who's going to now take us through. He says he's part of this evangelical team, and he's the doctor in the team, and is going to give us the particulars of this bill and why they are so opposed to it. So you need to stick around, because I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, sure. Well, and also today, cases of recoveries in the country have increased up to 2,013 after 42 more patients were discharged from various hospitals across the country. Health Chief Administrative Secretary Dr. Rashid Aman said the high number of recoveries is attributed to the hard work of the health workers. 120 new COVID-19 cases were reported today, raising the national tally to 6,190 since the first case was reported in March this year.
Today we have 120 people who have tested positive for COVID-19. This is from a sample size of 2,021 that was tested over the past 24 hours. The total caseload in the country now stands at 6,190. and the total number of samples tested at 167,417. He's 6 years old, and the oldest is 83 years old. I'm also glad to inform you that we have also discharged 42 patients from various hospitals, bringing the total number of recoveries to 2,013. We take this opportunity again to thank and celebrate our healthcare workers for their dedicated work for this achievement. Sadly also, we have lost one more patient to the disease, bringing our fatalities to 144. Our condolences to the family and friends that have lost their loved one.
Well, out of the 47 counties in the country, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kajiado, Busia, and Kiambu are the most affected.
Out of the 41 counties that have reported cases, Nairobi still leads with 3,031, followed by Mombasa at 1,445. Busia has become a high-risk county due to the cross-border truck drivers and is now third with 407. The situation of Kajiado with 242 cases is similar to that of Busia due to the effect of the Namanga border point and truckers crossing that point. Kiambu follows with 222 cases. Most of the remaining 36 counties have cases below 100. These numbers suggest that it's only a matter of time before all the counties record a COVID-19 case.
Well, we have those counties as the top 5 of those affected with COVID-19. And Fred, there's actually someone who's texted in and said, this bill by the senator is just something else. And you know, different people have different opinions about the same bill.
True, and the senator Keheka was saying that the church is reading too much into this bill, and that's $1 million question. I mean, is the church reading too much into this bill? Are we seeing a demon behind every tree, or is there a reason for us to be concerned?
Yeah.
So that's $1 million question. Is the church reading too much into this?
0786-316-316. That is the WhatsApp number. SMS line 20316. Well, in the meantime, Kirinyaga. You know, and we thought that last week after the Senate actually declared Governor Waiguru innocent, things would cool down. But the Kirinyaga County Assembly members have questioned the rationale of the Senate Special Committee decision, that is, to acquit Governor Anne Waiguru. The MCAs say they will institute actually a fresh process to impeach and remove the governor from office. The MCAs have also dismissed Waiguru's claim that she was a victim of powerful forces within and outside Kirinyaga due to her stand on the BBI process and the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the ODM party leader Raila Odinga.
To Madam Waiguru, in the words of friend Van Lent, if there are no consequences to your mistakes, you have no reason not to make them. We now understand your nonchalant attitude to the respect of the rule of law. We are well aware that you are yet to face consequences of your action against the people of Kirinyaga. However, nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. Your time to stop lying and stealing from the people of Kirinyaga, of Kenya, has come, madam. Justice delayed is justice denied. In the meantime, but we shall not give up. Neither your deep pockets nor your influence will desist our pursuit of justice for the people of Kirinyaga. So help us God.
So help us God. You know, these MCAs are actually going to start the whole process again.
They are so determined, just like MCAs in Kitui. And actually today, I mean, just days after the MCAs in Kirinyaga did what they did, they impeached the governor, went to the Senate, and the whole thing was thrown out. And now they want to do it again. The MCAs in Kitui County have now started the process. And there was drama there after Governor Charity Ngilu's lawyers were actually... I wish you can say them frog-marched out of the county assembly and thrown out and locked out. They had gone there because the governor had been summoned to appear before the county assembly today. But instead of appearing, she sent her lawyers. But now... and she had gotten a court order on Friday stopping the impeachment hearing, which was actually supposed to have been done today. And so her lawyers went there to represent her. And these guys were thrown out like stray animals. That's how they were treated by the MCAs in Kitui County. Just look at this.
Take a video. Take a video.
What is it? I mean, no one gets in before we go in because we are invited. Unless you give us a letter of cancellation. Or you want to say the governor didn't attend? You know, we don't leave this place. This is a Sunday for the public. I mean, you invite the governor here, you do not want his lawyers to appear. There is no letter of cancellation, and you now say...
You know, I felt sad because two of those lawyers are my very good friends. Yeah,
Okay.
and you know, they're actually... You know, at times when you look at things from a different perspective, that's somebody's dad you're throwing away like that. It's but anyway, MCAs will all there's something they want to achieve, and they will go at it for, you know, at any cost, so to speak.
Well, it was in Kirinyaga. Now Charity Ngilu is
and remember, we only have two lady governors or women governors in the country, and right now both are facing impeachment processes.
Well, this actually, you know, when the late Laboso was in power and then she died, now we only had the two. Now, if these two are impeached, now that we have the people of Kirinyaga saying that they're going back to the same procedure they did a couple of weeks ago, and now Charity Ngilu is also in the same. I don't know what's going to happen.
Let's see what plays out, man. Let's see what plays out.
Well, remember, today we are asking the question: do you think the church is reading too much into the bill that was proposed by that is Nakuru Senator Kihika? Do you think they're reading too much, or is there a good reason as to why they're raising all these issues? This is Remy, and Asema, hi Sarah, I believe that the church isn't... First, he's loving the song done by KCJ. Makes me want to dance. Oh, you should have danced, you know. I was shaking my head up. It's just that I can't stand up because I'll need to sit back down. And Remy says, I believe that the church isn't reading too much into the Reproductive Bill 2019. It is time we act and speak our voices in the bill and fight for the rest of the generations to come. It's high time we speak against such evil that is being pushed under our very disguise. If we fail to act now, we will really pay daily with our lives, under the lives of our children and the whole nation, as we will see a total breakdown of family roles in the society in terms of good morals. I'm also looking forward to those useless stories by Frederick Njiri. And something is a year old. Sarah. I'm trying really to understand what Remy is saying. Well, thank you, Remy. Wilson from Ngong, thank you so much for your response. I will take the church stand on Kihika's bill with a pinch of salt. The church is always knee-jacking and reducing good proposals to below the waist matter. I take its stand on the current situation. No one cared to talk about our preparations, duplications of roles, etc., all among other shortcomings. All that pastors yapped about was abortion, same-sex marriage, descendants, just like they are doing right now. The whatever council is busy taking views on how to open churches from the public, for example. It's just ridiculous that the elders have reduced themselves to such low levels. This is Wilson from Gong. Clearly he's against it. Well, Martin Dungu, thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Gikomba. The bill should be made public so that Kenyans may know who's telling the truth. This is Vincent Mulinge from Thika, and I like that. Hi, I'm Nelly from Meru. Please pray for my education life and health in general. Thank you so much for reaching out, and we will pray over you. We also have Kevin from Manyanja. The church is just being too political. They shouldn't involve themselves in this bill at all. Even though Waiguru is just incompetent, this now is a witch hunt on women governors. What about men? And yeah, this BBI is just too much. Oh my, this is a very big fan, quote unquote. Lynette from Nairobi. Let the church challenge the bill. Better it be interpreted too much than to regret later when it's hurriedly passed. That's Lynette's views. Essie Kimenye, thank you so much for tuning in. Is the church reading so much? I think what's being read is what the bill says. Here are lady governors. If the concerns are legit, I'd rather we have clean men than dirty women in the name of gender. But this boils down to us. We are the voters, right? Yeah, sure. Well, asante sana. We also have Perry's. Hey, guys, I missed you big time. We missed you too. Motives behind the bill is the issue at hand. Only them who can tell us why they want it passed for selfish gain or for the sake of our children. Today, mko loaded to the maximum. Great show. Thank you so much. And please also text in your views. On the same issue, do you think the church is reading too much into the reproductive bill 2019 that was proposed by Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika?
And we'll be talking to a gentleman, a doctor for that matter, who says he's part of the evangelical churches, and he will be telling us what they are reading in this bill and some of the areas that they have an issue with. Yeah. Parents now have an issue, and many Kenyans also, against the reopening of schools in September due to fears of the surging pandemic, according to an Infotrack poll that was conducted over the weekend. Parents believe that their children have a better chance of weathering the COVID-19 storm at home than at school. However, majority of Kenyans are in support of religious places reopening. 70% of parents are against the reopening of schools.
Kwa tayari mimi tukiambiwa tufungue shule, mtoi wangu sitamwachilia ende shuleni. Juu tukiangalia venye kazi inaenda, inapanda na tukiwapeleka shuleni, of course hatutakuwa na manjozi itakuwa imejaa sana.
Mtu mmoja akiwa ametoka kwa akiwa na hii COVID, aingie kwa darasa, atapata watoto for example kwa msimu tunaona watoto wengi wako kama 40 kwa darasa moja. Ni wangapi watatoka kwa hiyo darasa wakiwa wameshapata? Almost kuna ile probability ya wale watoto 40 labda kutatokea labda nusu ya hilo darasa watashikamana na yule mtoto. Kwa hivyo kurudi kwa huyo mtoto nyumbani watakuwa amesambaza kwa wale watoto wengine na watapeleka manyumbani kwao. Na wakipeleka manyumbani kwao hata wazazi pia ikiwa hawakuwemo nayo pia imezidi.
I'm calling the Minister of Education to kindly delay the opening of schools up to January 2021 until we see the pattern of corona. Otherwise, we may regret. We have done a lot of work. We have really suffered as Kenyans, but just the time we want to make it happen. And then we open ourselves. And then again, we get sick, and then we get another burden of abandoning our hospitals, losing very important people. We do not want this to happen.
Well, even as people are still debating on whether to open the schools and also the churches, there's actually a very sad story that happened over the weekend in Naivasha. And this is of a woman, actually a mother of 4, who decided just to poison the 4 kids, lock them in a house and flee. And right now that lady is actually in police custody because the 4 children did not make it.
No, that is sad.
And according to them, they're saying they do not know the motive behind the actions of this lady. That is very sad. Listen in.
Ametutumia picha za watoto. Kwanza nikashangaa ametuma picha kwa nini? Halafu akasema tuombee watoto wake maana amewaua.
Hawa watoto sababu ya kuuhai mwenye ambaye ameuana. Hiyo kitu amefanya ni kitu mbaya sana. Angewachia watu wengine waongelea.
Kama majirani tungeomba, kama tungekuwa ile mambo ya nyumba 10 iwekwe vizuri yenye, kama mtu ako na shida anaweza ongea na mwenzake ili tuweze kujua shida ni nini.
Well, what could be the issue,
Issues of, I guess, mental health now because of what is happening.
The tough economic times, maybe?
Yeah, and not everybody is able to bear whatever is happening right now. Issues, I believe it's just issues mental health because I can't imagine a mother just poisoning the kids and going on whatever kids, if you listen to her story you would probably understand why. But I think it's an issue of mental health.
Yeah, and I like what one of the people from that area said. We need to provide an environment where your sister, your neighbor can actually talk to you and offload their problems. Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, as I'd promised earlier on, I spoke to Dr. Wahome Ngari, who's of the Kenya Christian Professionals Forum, and we wanted to find out because there's Senator Kihika raised very pertinent issues, and she said that the church was reading too much into this bill and wanted them to quote, parts of the bill that they had issues with. And so Dr. Wahome was recommended by the evangelical or the group that is strongly against this bill. And they said because he's a doctor, he knows the terminologies that are being used. And this is what he had to say about this particular bill and the issues they have with it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, the main problem with this bill is basically its ideology, right from the ideology.
Yes.
Because it is developed on what we call the sexual and reproductive health and rights ideology.
Yes.
Or philosophy. And sexual and reproductive health and rights assumes that the sex is for pleasure, and sexual pleasure is a right for everyone.
A right.
Is a right. Sexual pleasure is a right that everybody should be taught to enjoy. Because of that ideology, what they are proposing to do is to set up adolescent-friendly clinics. And these adolescent-friendly clinics, they describe the adolescent as from the age of 10 to the age of 19. And the children of that age group are then supposed to be able to access contraceptives and condoms and even abortion services because those are defined under reproductive health and rights in their understanding of what reproductive health should be.
Yes.
And that is actually normalizing underage sex. So we agree there is a problem with some of the children.
Yes.
And when they say 1 out of 5 girls is already sexually active in that age group, we ask why are they not telling us that 4 out of 5 are not sexually active? So that what is delinquent we deal with as delinquent.
Yes.
Majority of our children are behaving well. We don't need to worry about those. What we need to do is reinforce good behavior, and the bad behavior then we deal with as delinquent. The other thing is that under surrogacy, where couples who cannot conceive a child are seeking to hire a womb.
Yes.
So surrogacy is about hiring a womb.
Yes.
You get somebody else to take the seed for the male and the female and bear a child for you as a contract.
Yes.
The way that bill is worded it would open doors for people who are in same-sex relationships to actually access surrogacy services.
How is it worded?
It is worded in that saying that if any person should be able to access sexual and reproductive health and rights services, and this infertility service or treatment is one of those. But then where it describes the surrogates, it describes the partners. It describes partners. It doesn't describe a married couple. It describes partners. And it even goes on to say one of the partners can seek that service. So if you have two men in a union, and they desire a baby, both of them have no uterus, then they can then say that one of them desires to have a child, and they can actually commission a surrogate mother, get the child, and then take that child under that relationship. Now, the infertility of same-sex couples, you can't describe them as infertile. You basically have an incompatible relationship that is not open to life. That relationship is by choice. No government should be facilitating such people to have children. It is not in our culture to have two men raise a child.
In a nutshell, Daktari, you've already, I believe, you've already sent a memorandum to the Senate.
Yes.
How far has this gone in trying to address some of the issues that you're raising? Because I remember on Sunday some of the, like Senator Kihika had said that religious leaders and the organization have misread this particular bill, and what is being spread is erroneous.
I will respect her opinion, but when you understand the deception in this bill, if you do not understand sexual and reproductive health and rights, an ordinary reading of the bill, you'd miss a lot of stuff. But when you understand that language, you can see the deception in it. Why would you provide reproductive health and rights services to a child who is below the age of 18? You're saying that my daughter or my son can go to a doctor somewhere and they say that they want contraceptives and they get it. The way the bill is worded is terrible. Now, we have challenged the language, and our memorandum was very clear. With the language and the spirit of this bill and the fact that it is founded on sexual and reproductive health and rights, it is beyond repair. It is actually beyond repair. What it needs to do, they need to do is withdraw it, and we set up a new bill. What we need is a family health bill.
Family health bill.
A family health bill. A bill that recognizes the fact that children ideally should be born in a family that is between a man and a woman, because that is what we understand a marriage to be. Both parents are responsible for the well-being of the child, and it is very clear that the government should support such a unit because it is there in the Constitution.
Just because of time, in a nutshell, what's the way forward now? Very briefly.
The way forward is that the Kihika bill should be withdrawn, and we go back to the drawing board as a country. We first agree that teenage pregnancy is delinquent. We are not going to be to facilitate our children having sex. And what we are going to do is have a very sober conversation on how we can teach our children to respect the gift of sex and sexuality, so that they can wait until the right time. The few who get pregnant, then we take care of those as delinquent, as not normal, not behaving the way they should. We counsel them and explain to them why it is important to wait.
All right. Asante sana Daktari. We'll definitely have this conversation some other time as we see how this unfolds in the Senate.
Thank you very much.
All right. So basically, that's the reason why the church or religious organizations are against that particular bill. I don't know what you think.
Well, Alice from Machakos is actually saying, if the religious leaders are pointing out this bill, then there must be something that will negatively affect the young people. So let them do their job, you know? Well, and we have some people who've responded. This is Daniel from Kitengela. I actually agree with the church. That bill will encourage immorality at a very young age. It's disappointing to know our leaders can have such an idea of a bill. Well, we also have, this is Paris, who is saying, I think they are sugarcoating baptizing the bill, giving it funny names, but the real truth is that it's a bill to legalize gay marriages. May God help our leaders to make wise choices. This is Paris from Kabete. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Well, Fred, inaelekea mwisho wa mwezi.
Oh yeah,
it's actually the end of the month.
True.
You know? And for those of us who are blessed and we're still having our income, because we know so many people have been affected with the pandemic, it's actually a blessing to know that at the end of the month you have worked the whole month, and at the end of that month there is a certain something that you'll find in your bank account that will help you push during this time. It's not easy. We've actually seen the mother in Naivasha who's just decided to end the life of her 4 children. We're still looking into the details. The police are doing that. But in my thinking, one of the reasons is because of the tough economic times that we're having. Well, where I'm going with this story is just to pass out the fact that we still have an income. You still have an income maybe, and this is something that we are supposed to be very grateful about. Tell you something, all this is because of our partners. You have made it possible for us to stay on air and to always keep Jesus on the airwaves. And it's the place where the music does the talking, that is Family Radio. And we are very, very much grateful that you have partnered with Family Media to make this happen. So if you want to be a partner with Family Media, just text in the word partner to 20316 and we will get back to you and tell you how you can go about it. Partner with us and help us keep Jesus on the airwaves.
At least something very positive that has happened in Africa, and mostly so when it happens when it comes to elections, because most elections in Africa are either never won or never lost.
Yeah.
But at least for the first time in a very long time, we've had a situation where Malawi's opposition leader Lazarus Chakwera won this week's presidential election rerun with a 58.57% of the vote. That's according to the Electoral Commission there. The opposition leader was actually sworn in as president, marking a landmark result in African politics.
The Commission declares that Lazarus Chakwera, the candidate who has attained 58.57% of the votes, has attained the requisite majority of electorate as appearing in the second schedule and is duly elected as President of the Republic of Malawi.
With your help, we will restore a new generation's faith in the possibility of having a government that serves. Not a government that rules, a government that inspires, not a government that infuriates, a government that listens, not a government that shouts, a government that fights for you and not against you.
Well, it's good news that we have, actually, he was an opposition leader.
Yeah.
And for the first time, an opposition leader has actually won.
In Arira. That's amazing.
All right. We have someone else who texted, praise God, Sarah and Fred, people with negative agendas would always use legislative arm of a country to legalize their wrong intentions. The church must stand up for our young people since they are being seen as a lucrative market for contraceptives, and the bill has nothing for their well-being. Thank you so much for your response. You did not give me your name, but asante sana for that response. Well, we have a new kid in the block. His name is Anthony. Anthony is actually tuning in today for the very first time. Thank you so much, Anthony, for choosing Family Media. And please continue watching and listening. This is the place where we nourish our spiritual being and just make sure that we keep Jesus on the airwaves.
That's nice. Now, I had told you I was going to give you one of those useless stories that never benefit anyone. But this one is one of those crazy stories. I don't know. I don't know which spirits are leading this particular church in South Africa. These guys decided that they're going to have their service. If it was Kenya, they would have maybe a kataska hapo and nini. So it's a service, a church service, but everybody's drinking their own drink and beer, spirits, and stuff.
For real?
You watch and see.
We are going to baptize you free. We are going to bury you free. We are going to marry you free. We are not doing business with the name of Jesus.
The alcohol is not to be pointed finger. The finger must be pointed to our government because they don't know what they are doing in terms of lockdowning everybody. You need to lock down the people who are sick.
The people, they don't.
For real?
I can tell you that is not the Holy Spirit.
No, it's not. Okay. Bro, John Max Owiti, asante sana for tuning in. I'm still perplexed with that, you know.
They have all kind of drinks there. Even the preacher himself.
Yeah.
He sounds drunk.
And he's saying a finger should not be pointed to the alcohol but to the government. How does it correlate? Anyway. Sawa too. Those are just some of those stories. Well, also, there's something we need to remind, guys. We have up to tomorrow midnight? Yeah, to file our returns. So if you have not filed your returns yet, last minute is better than not filing at all. You know, they say our country is a country of last minute thing. But okay, sawa too. But so just remember to file your returns before tomorrow. You know, have you heard that and this is actually some of the rumors, and I came across one yesterday in our family group, and one of my cousins actually forwarded this message saying that if you drink a concoction of ginger, lemon and honey, you know, what you basically call dawa, then you will not get coronavirus. So scientists are saying these are just some of the misleading claims that are there in the internet. Actually, they're just, I don't know how to put it, but people are following these claims, not knowing that it's actually endangering their lives. And above all, it's not true. So literally, let us look at some of the misleading information that are there in the internet that could mislead you as a person.
Herbal and homemade remedies. We've seen a wide range of natural or herbal remedies shared online across many parts of the world. Some suggest eating garlic or ginger, gargling with salt water and vinegar, or drinking herbal teas. Others encourage drinking lemon juice or inhaling steam. To be clear, there's absolutely no evidence any of these have any effect on the virus. So why do they keep resurfacing? For hundreds, perhaps even thousands of years, in the absence of modern medicine, these remedies have been used to treat the symptoms of common ailments like the common cold and flu. It's true that a diet including fresh fruits and vegetables is generally good for you, but there's no evidence consuming herbal remedies can fight off or boost your natural immunity to COVID-19. Cow byproducts. Some suggested treatments have their roots in religious ritual and farming. Cow manure has been widely used as a fertilizer in agriculture for centuries. Now, cow urine is being promoted to fight the coronavirus. In Kenya, it's been recommended as an alternative hand sanitizer to kill the virus. That won't work, so stick to soap and water. In India, where cows are considered sacred in Hinduism, their urine and byproducts have been used in Ayurvedic traditional medicine since ancient times. Religious groups and some politicians there claim that cow urine can protect you from the coronavirus despite it containing potentially harmful bacteria. Cow urine drinking parties were hosted in at least 2 states, and there were reports of a man being hospitalized after taking part. But there's no current scientific evidence that cow byproducts have any effect against COVID-19. Drinking cow urine or using it to sanitize your hands is not going to protect you. The miracle cure. The desire for there to be a cure out there right now to COVID-19 is a powerful one. So it's perhaps not surprising that something touted as a miracle cure has gained widespread attention online in many parts of the world. The Miracle Mineral Solution, or MMS, does not, as its promoters claim, have any effect on the virus. In fact, it contains a textile bleaching agent, chlorine dioxide, which is extremely harmful if consumed and could land you in hospital. It's been around since 2010 as a fake cure for a wide range of ailments. Both the US Food and Drug Administration and the World Health Organization have issued warnings against its use. So as tempting as it is to believe these alternative medicines work against the coronavirus, do not fall for false hopes that could well be harmful. The search goes on across the world for effective treatments, and they will come in time. But for now, the best thing you can do is to maintain social distancing and keep washing your hands.
Car urine parties?
Well, okay. Do not take anything that is not scientifically proven to be the cure over COVID-19. Thank you so much for tuning in to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno.
And I'm Frederick Njiri.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.